Hey guys, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and today I'm going to solve a killer X Sudoku created by Abed Hawila. I solved this Sudoku yesterday and I thought this was really worth for a video. An excellent Sudoku with some sublime deductions all through the solve. The link to solve the Sudoku yourself is given in the description of the video. Please do give it a try and come back and watch the video. And so before jumping into the rules, if you are regularly watching the channel and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel now. This will be a real source of motivation to us and we will really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. So please hit the subscribe button under the video now. Okay, so the rules of the Sudoku are classic rules apply. Each row, each column and 3 by 3 box will have digits from 1 to 9. And killer rules apply. There are some dotted cages in the grid, as you can see, many dotted cages. Inside these cages, digits do not repeat, and the clue given in the top left corner of the cage is the sum of the digits inside the cage. And the last part is the diagonal part. You can see two lines. So these lines starting from top left to bottom right and top right to bottom left also contain the digits from 1 to 9. There are exactly 9 cells in those lines. So those will also be 1 to 9 without any repetition. So these are the rules. We'll start the Sudoku now. So as I have solved it already, I know exactly how it works. So I will quickly go into the Sudoku. So you have a 17 here and there is only one way to fill it, 8 plus 9. There is a 4 cage here. So only one way to fill it, 1 plus 3. And 14 has two possibilities. It can be either 5 plus 9 or 6 and 8. 5 has two possibilities, 1 plus 4 or 2 plus 3. A 15 has two possibilities, 6 plus 9 or 7 plus 8. So this much you can do at the start. There is no difficulty in doing this. The next thing you have to see is consider these cages together. Not all 4 of them together. In the first step, when you see box 7, you have 17 from these 5 cells because 12 plus 5 you get 17, which means that 5 cells add up to a 17, right? So when you have 5 cells adding up to a 17 without repetition, 1, 2 and 3 must be part of the sum. If you don't have any of these digits as part of the sum, you're going to exceed 17. It's simply not possible. So we can just do a corner pencil mark. 1, 2 and 3 must be in these 5 cells. I've made 1, 2, 3 in all these 5 cells. And now since 1, 2 and 3 add up to 6, we need 11 more, which can be satisfied using 4 plus 7 or 5 plus 6. So basically these 5 cells taken in totality have only two combinations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. No other combination exists. So we'll remember that for now. Now look at this 14 cage. You have already marked 1 and 3 inside these cells. Can we satisfy 14 without a 2 inside it? If you don't have a 2 here, the minimum sum becomes 4, 5 and 6. And add them together and you will see that the total is 15. So there is simply no way to get to 14 without a 2. So 2 is going to be inside this cage. And now we need 12 more, which cannot be 3 plus 9. So it is either 4 plus 8 or 5 plus 7. So only two combinations again, 2, 4, 8 or 2, 5, 7. So I have written all those. And now you will observe that along this diagonal, box 7 and box 3 cannot take 1, 2 and 3, right? Because they are outside these 3 cells and these 3 cells. They don't contain 1, 2 and 3. However, this diagonal needs to contain the digits 1, 2 and 9, which means that leaves us exactly 3 cells to place the 1, 2 and 3. Because you have 1, 2, 3 here and you have 1, 2, 3 outside the lines here. A fantastic start to the Sudoku. So these 3 cells must be 1, 2 and 3. So really beautiful, right? And the start is not yet started. The real test, as you can see in the thumbnail, will come after placing the second digit. right? So now we'll do something similar, just like what we did here along this diagonal. So we have 8, 9 here. 8, 9 cannot be in these three cells. And look at this 18 kh and 14 kh. So if you add this together, we have 32. Just like what we did with the 17 here, a 32 must contain an 8 and 9. It need not contain a 7, but it must definitely contain an 8 and 9, especially when it's made of 5 distinct digits. So let's say you don't have an 8 as a part of the sum. The maximum total you can obtain is 9 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4, right? And if you add them together, you get 31 only. So this establishes that 8 and 9 must be in these 5 cells, right? That's superb, because along this diagonal now, and these three cells also don't contain 8 and 9, but we know that this diagonal needs to contain the digits from 1 to 9. So which means that there is exactly 2 cells left for making the 8-9 pair. So this is the beauty of handcrafted Sudoku, guys. A computer can never generate Sudokus like this. Look how the author has laid out the steps beautifully. So we got a pair here. First we got these 3 digits, and then we are getting a pair now. And instantly you can resolve this pair, because 11 can never take a 9, because then these 2 cells add up to 2, and that's simply not possible without repeating digits. So this would have to be 8, that has to be 9, and because it's 11, there is only one way of filling. This becomes 1 and 2. So we got the 2 digits here, and now the test starts. So at this point, if you guys really want to pause the video, or if you haven't tried the Sudoku yourself yet and are directly watching this video, you can pause the video at this moment and try to see what is the deduction. It's not an easy one, it's a narrow deduction, it's really hidden well, so you can do so yourself. Okay, I'm going to show you the deduction now. So I said earlier that these 5 cells have 2 options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Can it be 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6? Let's see. Let's go with the other way around. Can it be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 7? What happens? So if these 5 cells contain 1, 2, 3, 5 and 7, 4 and 7 I mean, let's remove those and just quickly write all those digits inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Of course 7 cannot be inside, but for the sake of just showing you why this is not possible, I am going to put those digits inside. And now we need 4, 7 along this diagonal, right? 4, 7 cannot be in these 3 cells, 4, 7 cannot be in these 3 cells, so 4, 7 has to be in these 3 cells. And now can you satisfy the 14 kh? A really sharp deduction, guys. It took me quite a while to get this deduction. Not an easy one, of course. If you happen to hit on it, you would hit on it instantly, but it's not an easy one according to me. So now 14 kh cannot be 2 plus 4 plus 8 because 4 is here, or 2 plus 5 plus 7 because 7 is also along the diagonal. An awesome deduction, right? Not an easy one to see. So which means that we can be certain that this is not a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 7. This would of course have to be a 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. And inside the 5 kh you can quickly remove the 5, 6. And now there is only one way to satisfy the 5 total, that would have to be 2 and 3. So which means that 2, 3 gets removed from here and this becomes 1, 5 and 6. Really wonderful deduction. And there is also another stiff deduction later on in the solve. I'll show you guys that deduction. So now let's continue. So you have 8, 9 here. So 8, 9 cannot be in these cells. So 8 and 9 must go into these 3 cells, right? Corner pencil mark. Okay, so now we can use nice deduction. Can a 14 be 6 plus 8? 14 is either 5 plus 9 or 6 plus 8. Can it be 6 plus 8? If it's a 6 plus 8, look what happens to the 8 in column 1. You have an 8 in these 3 cells, you have an 8 in these 2 cells, which means in box 1 and box 7, 8 gets removed from these 6 cells. So 8 would have to be in these 3 cells in column 1, but you will quickly see that none of these 3 cells can take an 8 because 8 is removed from here, and because you have 2 3 pair here, 8 cannot go inside the 11 cage. A fantastic deduction. So which means that a 14 cannot be a 6 plus 8, and it would have to be a 5 plus 9. So let me remove these corner pencil marks, and now we are certain that 9 is not here, and an 8 would have to be part of these 3 cells. And this, using the same idea, 8 can be removed from here because an 8 here forces an 8 in these 3 cells, which we do not want. So 8 goes here. And now the 11 cage is either 4 plus 7 or 5 plus 6. Okay, so I have marked a 9 also here, right? Because you have 8 9 removed from here, so 8 9 will be in these 3 cells. Now look at this cell, guys. You have 2 3, you have 1 5 6, you have 8 and 9. So this can only be 4 or 7. No other possibility can, no other candidate can go in these cells. And the moment you mark 4 7, look at this 11 cage staring down at this. So you can remove one of the possibilities. 11 is now not 4 7 anymore. 11 can only be a 5 6. So let me remove the 4 7. So this would have to be a 5 6. And we can use a bit of classic here. 8 is removed from here, so this is not a 7. And now another sticky point. So this is the second point where it took a little bit of time, not as much as after placing these first 2 digits, but this one also took a little bit of time for me. Really narrow deduction. So again, if you guys want to pause the video maybe here, you can try to do so and find it yourself. But before that, let me just see if there is something else in the Sudoku that not yet shown. So 8 is now not 1 plus 9. Okay, 18 has an 8. So we need 10 more. Cannot be 1 plus 9, cannot be 2 plus 8. So it's either 3 and 7. You have a 3 here. So if it's 3, 7, 8. So 3 goes here, and this would be a 7, 8 pair. And if suppose it is a 4 and a 6, you have a 6 here. So 6 goes here, and this would be a 4 and 8. And we also know that 8 must be in these cells. So these are the only possibilities that can go inside these cages. Okay, so, and if in row 1, if you observe carefully, 3 cannot be in here, 3 cannot be here, 3 cannot be in these 3 cells because of this 3, so 3 goes into these cells. Okay, and I think at this point you need to use the second of the tougher deductions. So you can pause the video here and see if you can find the deduction yourself. It's a little bit of a narrow one. I'll pause myself for 2 seconds and I will show you. Okay, so the deduction that the solver needs to see at this point is, look at column 9. 9 cannot be in these 3 cells because you have 8 9 here, and 9 cannot be in these 3 cells also because 9 is in 14 case, so 9 can't go here, and 9 cannot be here, 9 cannot be here, so 9 would have to be in the 15 cage. A narrow deduction, guys, not a difficult one per se, but in the context of the Sudoku it may be harder to spot. So 9 is inside the 15 cage, and that forces a 6 also. And now let's see, let us continue the Sudoku. Now we have got almost all the cages filled. So 8 in column 9, 8 cannot be in these 3 cells, so 8 is in one of these 2 cells. And now if you take a step back and look at the Sudoku again, there are still 2 digits placed after approximately 15 minutes of our video, still only 2 digits. So you can understand that this is a really nice and tough Sudoku. So let's see now. Okay, so we can use some classic here. 9 is in these cells. 9 is in these cells. So which means that in column 1, 9 is eliminated from these 6 cells. So 9 has only one possibility in column 1. So 9 would have to go here. And that instantly resolves this. So this becomes 9. That becomes 6. And now along this diagonal, if you ask yourself, where can 5 and 6 be, you will instantly realize that 5, 6 must be in these 3 cells, because you have 5, 6 not present on these 3 cells on the line. So 5, 6 is here, so 5, 6 would have to go here. And that removes 5, 7 as a possibility here. So this would have to be 2, 4, 8. And I'll also remove the 2. So this becomes 2, 4, 8. And because we got a 2, 4, 8 here, we can be certain that 4, 8 must be along this diagonal. Interesting deduction. Because along this diagonal we need all digits. 4, 8 cannot be here, so 4, 8 would have to be here, which means this is not an 8. So let me remove the corner pencil mark. And I think these, just a second, 4, 8 would have to be here. And now this cell has only 2 possibilities. Cannot be 2, 3, cannot be 1, 5, 6, cannot be 4, 8. So it can only be 7 or a 9. Okay, 5 can be removed from here because I have a 5, 9 here, and 6 also can be removed from here because you have a 6 here. And that gives us a 5, 6 pair because we had made corner pencil marks of 5, 6 here. Why was the 8 here? I don't know. I'll remove the 8 from here because we got 2, 4, 8 here, right? So now we got a locked pair of 5, 6. 5, 6 cannot be in this cell, so we get a 5, 6 pair. So we can quickly write them in. So this becomes a 5, 6 pair. And these two cells must be a 7, 9 pair for the box. So I think we'll get a lot of digits now. So 9 cannot be here, so this is a 7, that is a 9. So 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. So this would be a 4, 8 and 9. Gorgeous guys, such a gorgeous Sudoku from Abed Hawila. A really nice one. I really don't think a Killer X Sudoku can get any better than this awesome one. So which means that this has to be a 7. And this can be placed because you have 9 here, so that is 9, that is 8, and 8 is removed from here, so 8 goes here. And using classic we can place 8 in column 9, so 8 goes here. Now these cells must be 4, 5, 6, 7 in the middle box. So 1, 3, 7, 6, 8, 9. So these would be 2, 4 and 5. So 2, 4, 5, 8 and 9, right? So 1, 3, 6, 7 must go in these cells. 7 is here. So 7 goes here. Let me mark corner pencil mark. So you can remove the 9 from here. This cannot, 8 and 9. Both 8 and 9 can be removed from here. So this was 4 or 7 at the start if you remember. So this would have to be a 4. We could have instantly placed that 4 a little earlier also. So 4 goes here. So this would be 8, 9. And now this is not a 4 anymore. So that becomes a 7, 8 pair. And that gives you a 3 here. And this cell would now have to be 1 for the column. So this is a 1. So 1 is removed from here. And because you have a 4 here, 4 is removed from here. This is 2, 5. So 1, 5, 9, 3, 7, 8. So this one, these 3 cells must be 2, 4, 6. Okay, I have made a corner pencil mark of 3 here. Can the 3 be inside the 10 cage? Quickly no, because 7 is here. So 3 goes outside. And now there is exactly one possibility to fill the 10 cage, right? It can only be 4 and 6. And that is because 6 in row 1 has to go in these 2 cells. And that instantly gives you 4, 6 as the possibility. And that gives me a 2 here, an 8 here, and a 4 here. And this 4 gives me a 4 here. So this would be a 2, 6. And that resolves this 5, 6 pair. So that's a 5, that's a 6. And because I have a 3 here, this can be resolved. This is 3, this is 1. Okay, now 7 in this diagonal has to be only here. It can't be any other cell. There is no other possibility left for the 7 except this cell. So this is a 7, and which means these 3 cells for box 9 must be 1 3 6, and you have 6 here, so that becomes 6. This is a 1 3 pair. You have 1 in the diagonal, so 1 cannot repeat, so that is a 3 and that is a 1. And now because of this 3, this would have to be a 2, can't be 3, so this is a 2. That becomes a 1 3 pair, and 1 is here, so that's a 2, that is a 1. Okay, 1 2 3 9 4 6 and 8, so this must be a 5 7 pair, and these 3 cells must be 1 3 4. I'm quickly filling the digits using Classic. So you have 6 here, so that's not 6 4 5 7, and 1 here resolves this 1 3 pair, so that's a 3, that's a 1, and 1 in column 5 can be placed using Classic. So 1 3 4 5 2 and 6, so this must be 9 must go in one of these 2 cells, and instantly I can place the 9, so that's the 7 8 now. Okay, this 3 resolves this 2 3, so that's a 2, that's a 3, which means this is not a 2, this is a 4 or 5. The 1 is not going to be here, and if you look at row 6, these 2 cells must be 3 4 5 7. 3 and 7 can't go here, 4 cannot go here. Three can't be here, Classic. 1 cannot be here because you have 1 here. Okay, 3 in column 5 has exactly 1 cell left, 3 would have to be here. Okay, let me write some digits here. 1 6 9 3 and 4, so they would have to be 2 5 7 8. 2 can't be here, 8 cannot be here, and this can be 2 5 7 and 8. Okay, so I can fill in this diagonal, guys. I briefly forgot about the diagonal part for a moment. So because of the 2 here, this becomes 6, that becomes 2, that 2 gives a 5 here, a 4 here, a 2 here, and that 5 resolves this 1 5 6, so that's a 5, that becomes a 1 6 pair, and because of that 6 can be placed here. This 5 gives me a 5 and a 9, and that gives a 8 and a 9. That 5 gives a 4 here, which gives a 3 here, and which means this must be 1 3 4. So 3 5 6 1 4 7 9. So this must be 2 8, and I have 8 here, so that's a 2, that's 8. So let me write these cells. So these must be 2 4 8 9 5 6. So these must be 1 3 7. You have 3 here, so that's a 7. And row 6 can be filled. This is a 5. This must be 1 3 pair, which can be resolved. So that's 1, that's 3, and that's 1, that's 4. This must be a 4 6 7 triplet. Okay, middle boxes can't be resolved now because we need one of these digits to resolve them. So let's look elsewhere. 1 3 6 4 2 7 8. So this must be 5 9 pair, which can be resolved. So 5 and 9. And this must be a 2 8 pair for the row. Sorry, 2 7 pair. Must be a 2 7 pair. Okay, still it's sticking. 1 5 9 2 3 7. So this must be a 4 6 8. still the Sudoku hasn't fallen, guys. That's the hallmark of a great Sudoku. Even at the end it sticks a little bit. So you have 8 here, so you have 8 here, 8 is removed from here, so you get a 4-6 pair now in column 6. Even at the end you have to get through pairs to resolve the Sudoku. That's fantastic. So this is a 7, so that's 7, that's 5, that's 5, that's 6, and this must be resolved. So this is 6, this is 4, that 6 gives a 6, 4, and these can be filled 6 and 8. So that's 4, that is 6, that is 8, and 7 here gives me 7 and 2 here. This is a 5 for the column, and now you have this column can be filled, so this would have to be a 7, that becomes 8, that becomes 8, that becomes 7, and that becomes 2. And with that we have completed this excellent and marvelous creation by Abed Hawila, a really wonderful Sudoku. Hope you guys had great fun watching me solve this Sudoku. Please like the video and please comment under the video without fail, and most importantly subscribe to the channel. Thank you.